Welcome back, Alphas. Long week at work, so my voice is wrecked. But hey, so is my ship. Let's talk about hover mode. So hold position. Hey, I'd just like to start off by saying that this video is going to be a departure from my typical content. My normal videos are an investment of anywhere from 12 to 25 hours, with some videos taking as much as 40 hours. That's tough with a full-time job and a side hustle. This week, I just don't have enough time, and I realize I need to get content out to you. I miss you guys. I miss the comments and the interaction, and I need to get something out. So, hover mode has been on my mind. I've been on Reddit reading, and I want to share what I've found on there, just in case you aren't able to catch up on your Reddits. Or hey, maybe one of these posts is from you, and if so, let me know in the comments. All right, well, let's get into it. Hover mode's been pretty controversial, right? Some people love it, some people detest it, and then others say, well, it's a start. I fly mouse and keyboard and find it incredibly difficult in particular ships. And from what I hear, HOTAS is way easier. Let's see what the community has to say. Let's check the Reddits. So a couple of weeks ago, this is the first one that caught my attention. Reddit user Danny4111 posted this. He said, "This is how I thought hover mode was going to be. Got some upward thrust, gives it a little lift. There's just a little bit of forward momentum, not much going up. Then, when he noses up, you'll see that the VTOL thrusters rotate, and the rear VTOL gives a little extra thrust to be able to keep that up, whereas the one in the front rotates enough to be able to lift the nose. Still, not really any change in position relatively in the upward momentum or downward, but you'll see just kind of holding in place, and you'll see that there's just a little bit of forward momentum. Now, in the last one, he's thinking if you nose down, you might get a little bit of drift forward, but since the VTOL thrusters switch, they're going to be able to compensate. Now, here's how he says hover mode actually is. So if you nose up, you slide backwards furiously. If you nose down, you slide forward and gain momentum and accelerate. It's crazy. Though it is a first iteration, so at least they're trying. But right now it kind of feels like artificial mechanisms at work, and it doesn't quite feel like a real flight model. I've played plenty of other games where I fly. I'm always the pilot. And right now, in 3.6, I'm getting the reputation for killing all my friends. That's what I do now. I just kill my friends. Hey guys, let's meet up at this rest stop. Hop aboard my ship. Let's take the Valkyrie. I'll get you to Hurston. Oh, the new guy's never seen Hurston. Let's go. Get a landing pad, open up the hangar, start descending, barely tilt, wham, slides forward, hits the wall, boom, no fly zone, right next to me. Those trips to ArcCorp or Hurston, they ended up taking like anywhere from 7.5 to 13 minutes, depends on if we had to stop or not. So right now, it's a test of patience, as is this game usually, right? Now this next Reddit post oddly got deleted. It was called Fixing VTOL, the Stable Helicopter Effect. But I had already screen capped it, and I got the graphic, and I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm not sure why it's deleted though, especially with 1,400 imaginary internet points. Anyway, let's delve into it, and maybe you can tell me why it got deleted. It may be the verbiage, I'm not sure. So the Redditor says that lateral motion must be corrected by the pilot quickly because sideways acceleration increases. So if you lift up, say, the port wing, then you're going to drift real hard starboard, right? And with mouse and keyboard, because there's no dead zone and it doesn't go back to center, then he says, like in the graphic, you're off hardcore to the right. You're hitting a wall, or like me, hitting that no-fly zone, and then you're dead. So what he had proposed gives the pilot a little more control to where they can get the aircraft to respond a little quicker. Because if it's overstable, then you're not going to be able to take control as quickly, right? It's going to take a little longer to be able to make maneuvers. So I think what he was talking about here in this particular graphic is that if we could give the pilots a little bit more ability to be able to correct, or by angling the VTOLs a different direction, then maybe the ship would self-correct a little bit more using the physics they built into the game, then that would be amazing. Let's see what some of the comments were. Reddit user iBommy said that the current VTOL that we have isn't even realistic for 2019 tech. About every drone has auto stabilization and will hold its position. Reddit user Awareness Logic said, I didn't realize how much more difficulty hover mode adds to keyboard and mouse as opposed to a flight stick until I tried it recently. The Thrustmaster T16000M FCS is a good all-purpose joystick at a decent cost, available on Amazon and elsewhere. For me, I have one of those, like an old Thrustmaster T16000 that I used to use in PlanetSide 2, and I was one of the oddballs that flew with a joystick over there. And I haven't tried it in Star Citizen yet. I guess I need to check out the way to load up the key bindings in the control profiles and see if I can maybe do it. I don't know how it would go with one stick, though. Reddit user Gilded Bear said that joysticks self-center and mice do not. That means that you give yourself a bit of lateral motion in hover mode, you tilt the stick a bit and then let go, and it goes back to center, right? But with mouse, he says you have to move it and then move it back. Another way to think of it is that joysticks have this dead zone, while mice do not. So mouse users just have to constantly adjust in tiny amounts when the stick user can get it level and then relax more. He said, full disclosure, I'm a mouse flyer. I've never used stick for Star Citizen. I've never had issues of clipping landing bays, but I fly a Reliant, which probably has a lot to do with it. And yeah, it depends on the type of ship you're flying. Obviously, if you're in a smaller ship, it's going to be a lot easier. If you're in a big, bulky ship with a lot of mass, I mean, gosh, I don't know how many times I've crashed a 600i trying to get out of a hangar in Lorville. I haven't tried it in 3.6 yet, but probably just kill everybody. Well, that's okay. I'm getting known for that now. The whole thing with mouse and keyboard where it doesn't self-center and then you just continue to drift. And when you do, it accelerates. Well, there were some people asking, is there any way to be able to center your controls if, let's say that your mouse is off to the side too far? Reddit user Cade7596 said, tap right shift twice. I haven't tried that. I guess I'll have to see if it works. Reddit user Rem4G said the easiest way is to just toggle R to get the gimbaled aiming mode. Then you can center your ship very easily. He said they really need to add a mouse cursor indicator when not using gimbaled aiming mode, though. He says, I can imagine a lot of issues with hover mode because people are trying to fly with their fixed reticle, and to do so without knowing exactly where your mouse is leads to constant overcompensation and back and forth movement, a disaster for hover mode. But yeah, gimbaled aiming reticle makes hovering a doddle. A doddle? I'm going to have to Google that one. Anyway, that's good to know, right? So apparently if you're in fixed gimbals, it's going to be a lot harder. So maybe that'll help you out for all you mouse and keyboard users. HOTAS users, what kind of issues are you running into? What do you think? I'm curious what everybody thinks. What can we do about this? I mean, we got to give feedback on it, and we need to go to Spectrum, but what are we going to say? There's a whole lot of ideas out there on how to fix this. We're going to have to figure out something and unify our voice and then get loud. If this new format was interesting enough to keep you entertained with me just bullshitting and talking about Reddit and what the community is saying, then throw me a like. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, tap the bell to get notified when I'm able to get new content out to you, and you can be looking for me exploding in a hangar somewhere.